Hey guys, what's Janet saying? It's very hi Don P, Fritchie, Debbie, Flo. So thanks everybody for being here nice and early. So let's see. Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna work on some collage soup. I'm gonna make a little. I'm gonna make a comment here in a little while. So Janet, hold on to your seat. No, it's all good. Let's see. There's a glare right there front. I keep a side ring light right there, and just to give it a little more light on this side, but it does give a light thing over there. But I have my big light over here. I also have the big window. I turn off the overhead light so I don't have a spot right here. So it looks pretty good today, I think. What do y'all think? Does it look pretty good today? So yeah, Tori, who else? Ann Lar. I got my lemon water, which is a little over topped here. Let me pour a little more water over the top of that. Try to keep my voice going for 3 hours. And I did pull some, got a couple pineapple and strawberry here. So let me take a bite of that. Let's see. B, Annette. I think I said hi to Leah, Pamela. Who else am I missing? Thanks everybody for being here. Looks fun. It's probably the way you're. I'm not late. It is actually 8:27. I officially start at 8:30, Missy. Oh, and I don't mean Missy Johnson. I mean Janet. So, yeah, I pulled a few books. I don't know if this is all I'm going to use or even and if I'm going to use those. I thought I'd work on 2 big discs. Maybe I should just work. I don't know. For right now, I think I'll just work on these. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I did get out some wax paper. Let me pull a sheet of that. And we'll put that up underneath here as I'm working. Might need another sheet. I probably should just move my new mats, but they're so pretty. I'm gonna leave them there for a minute while I talk. I'll leave my mats here while I talk, and then I will move them while I collage. So yeah, I really like these. Denise is the one that found these. So this is a small one and a large one. I showed these yesterday, but I think I'll move them when I'm collaging. So, all right, let's see who else is here. Brenda A. Say how to flow. Thank you, Annette. Yeah, this is a small one, and then the large one's underneath. I like them both. I wish they were like all one. Like I wish this was the background of this one, but I like, it is what it is. I love them. So, anyway, yeah, we'll give it a few minutes for people to come in. Yeah. Janet teases me about my mouse. It's just paint and ink, Janet. Let me get another bite of my pineapple. Let's see, Kathleen. Cat, hey Cat. Click on Cat. Tina may or may not be here, Janet. She messaged me and said she's having computer issues. So yeah, so we'll see. She's gonna try, and she may come in, pop in, and pop out. We'll see. So and my lemon water. Uh-oh, I dripped. It's overfill. Let me go dump a little bit of this ice out. It's a little over iced. Okay. Every time I push down on my straw, it's making it spill. So let's get a paper towel over here. All right. Let's see. Cat kid. Okay. Well, I'm just going to make a little announcement. It's no big deal. But yeah. So let's try not to lean the boobage into the scene. well, I was going to say I'll zoom in, but if I'm working on these big discs, I probably won't. Plus, I pulled some collage fodder here. These are all this is my jelly plated fodder. Well, there's some nothing's on them, just some blank deli papers in there too. But it's a lot of jelly plated papers are in here. So I might go through them just because, I like to use these. And I usually only use them when Carrie the Crafter has a challenge. But but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to use them. Hi, Leona. I said, Leah, Zinjin. So thanks everybody for being here. I want to give it a few more minutes before I get into any discussion because I don't want to repeat myself. And I'm not going to repeat myself. I did get a book in. Selena, y'all know Selena, who I buy all my fabrics from. She sent me a nice, and I'll pull the letter out here. So, Amore Fabriques. She was at the thrift store, and this was a couple weeks ago, I guess. She was at the thrift store a couple weeks ago, and she goes, I came across this book, and I thought of you. And so she ended up buying it for me and sending it to me. I just got it in yesterday. And I said, oh my gosh, Selena, I said, this book is one of the reasons I became an artist. Now I'm going to just go ahead and tell y'all right off the bat that it's, I can't show you half the pages, but anyway, it is the collected drawings of Aubrey Beardsley. And it's, let me look at the date here. It's a vintage one. It is, so when I was back in junior high, early high school, I can't tell you the exact date, I came across this book. 1967. 1967 is when this one came out, and I don't see a previous production. Now I'm going to do a quick flip, but just don't just look away if you all want to see some boobs or something. Anyway, this is a family-friendly channel, and we keep it that way. Just FYI, though, we'll start by saying that this is a family-friendly channel. So anyway, but it's all black and white. He did everything in black and white. Look him up on the internet if you want to see more details about Aubrey Beardsley. Let me find something here that I can show. Like here, see? So I loved Aubrey Beardsley's pen and ink when I first found him back in junior high, probably, maybe early high school. And this said, I said, I want to do this. I want to do this. And of course, and later I got into calligraphy too. I didn't know anything about calligraphy back then, 13 years old or whatever. I'd always, let me back up and say, I've always drawn, color penciled, sketched since I can remember, since I was little. I've always done, some kind of art. But back then we didn't have bookstores. We had the school library. We had the other our main library. And then let's see. And that's about it. we lived in we didn't live in like New York or where they had bookstores like back forever, right? But when I first saw Aubrey Beardsley, I thought, I want to be able to do this. So this is what really drew me into wanting to be an artist. And so I told that to Selena, and she goes, oh my gosh, she didn't have any idea about any of that, but she found me this book. Now I have a replica. What is it called? What's that company called that does clip art and stuff like that? Somebody tell me, y'all know what I'm talking about. The clip art company that Janet and I, we have probably shelves and shelves of those books back from the day. Dover. I have some Dover books from of Aubrey Beardsley, but I didn't have. Yeah, thanks, Debbie. I knew one of y'all would pop in. I know y'all. And hi, Kimberly. And but I didn't have an actual Aubrey Beardsley book, and I have a lot of art books. I did not have an Aubrey Beardsley. So when she found this at the thrift store for a couple of dollars, she bought it for me and sent it to me. So thank you, Selena. If y'all want to see more about Aubrey Beardsley, You can go look him up online, but regardless of his life or any other thing, I loved his art. And so, yeah. Yeah, so thank you, Selena. Thank you so much. It was so cool. All right, let me see who else is coming in here. Said hi to Kimberly, Angie. Said hi to Missy. I'm scrolling back to see if I can catch as many people as I can. And then we're going to work on some collage. I pulled some collage suit books today. Y'all know I don't have every collage suit, but I have the bulk of them. But I pulled these 3 to play with today. Something fishy, bird nerd, and now I'm already got the lemon water hiccups. Makes you go, So, So I just pulled those to use today, and I had already pulled a few little things out of some books and some, I don't know. And I do need some watches. Hang on, let me pull some watches here. That's not it. Is that it? Yeah. I'll pull some watches as well. So I think I'll just go ahead and look through watches while I'm talking, because I'm not sure how I'm going to use these. These will be my focal point theme. This is more my background. Plus, like I said, I pulled a bunch of jelly printed papers. So I need to find some blues and stuff like that. Or maybe I should do that first. Let me go ahead and pull a few different blues, because that's kind of where I'm heading here, that they can go with either one. So we'll do that for a minute while I'm saying good morning to everybody. All right, so let me move some of these deli papers. Well, let's just put the deli papers at the bottom so they're not in my way. So I'm not going to use these deli papers today. All right, so let's just I'm just going to flip through this and see what I can find, what grabs my attention. And these are just, the top ones here are deli papers and tissue papers. Well, there's a few that are not like this. I did a few where I crumpled up the paper and jelly plated them to give them a lot of wrinkly, textury stuff. But right now, I'm looking for, I'm going by color rather than anything else. So I'm just going to flip through here. Y'all can kind of look while I'm flipping. You got your napkins already, Tori? Yay! I did send out all the Happy Meal yesterday. I went to the post office, which is going to start my conversation here in a minute. Let's see. Maybe this blue here. I don't want this blue. So maybe one piece of it's kind of the same as that one. I'm trying to find different things, So let's see. Just kind of pick a few things. Like I said, I love using these for my collages, but I have to take the time to dig through. Here's a piece of a paper stencil, but it's kind of all torn up, so I'll end up using that probably in an actual piece. So, all right, now I'm getting down to the actual papers rather than tissue papers. Let's get a couple of these black ones, or they may be dark blue. I don't know. I think that's from Devon. Pretty sure that's from Devon. Some silver. So, yeah, I think y'all can see some of the colors and stuff. And anyway. So, yeah, I did get all the Happy Mail. I did, those of you, the 4 of you that won the sleeves with the ATCs in them yesterday, I did go through some more of my notebooks, my old notebooks, and I think it was 2010. I found 4 ATCs. I think they were Valentine looking ones, and I had done them in 2010. So y'all each got one of those. Each one of y'all that won the giveaway. I think Tori was one, Joanne. I forget who else. But anyway, y'all are going to get one of my 2010 artist trading cards. I stuck one in there. So when you unroll the sleeve, because I folded the sleeve up. Here, let me find. I have a sleeve over here somewhere. Here. Y'all that won one of these on Monday, I folded this up like this and sent them out to you. And then right here in the middle, I put not in the sleeve. It's just sitting here because I didn't want to. You already had something in the sleeves, but I put an ATC inside each of y'all's little pack. So when you get it, there's one in there for each of you that that played and got one on Monday. So let's see. Am I missing anybody coming in? Said hi to Tori. You're welcome. I'm just kind of looking through here with maybe some more blue stuff. Well, this one's kind of cool. I don't think it really goes with what I'm doing though. This one's got too much teal. I don't know that I've made too many with like blue proper, ultramarine. I don't think I've made a lot of jelly plated papers with ultramarine. So I may not have a lot of blues. Oh, here's a couple of blue grays. Let's get those out. A couple of those little pieces. Maybe they might be too green, but we'll see. Just because I like to use them, and but I sometimes just forget. Oh, you're welcome, Tori. All right, so let's see. But I did write myself down a few notes to tell y'all some things on my mind. Things on my mind. Georgia on my mind. Here's some blues. Let's go with these. These are the back of business envelope. When you get a bill, these are on the back of your bills or on the inside of the envelope. Those make good. And you don't have to leave them that color. You can ink over those or do a wash over this. And this will make a cool texture. Just because you get an envelope that's black and white like this, you can paint that, color it. Hi, Dot. Let's see. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I do appreciate it. That's a cool one, just in and itself. I just like that one. I did do a couple of ATC backgrounds with couple of pieces that I had laying on my desk because I've got some ideas. I kind of want to pull that one. I have some ideas for my theme for the ATC swap passport. The passport ATC swap. If y'all weren't here Monday, go look at my post tab. It used to be called community tab. It's not here under this video. It's under the main page of our YouTube channels. It's got like lives, shorts, videos, not necessarily in this order, posts, and it used to say community. But under that post tab, it's the same place where I post the books every week. Every week I post a book or two. And it's that same tab now that I posted all the information, and so is Janet. Posted all the information about the ATC swap that Janet and I are hosting, although officially Janet's hosting it because everybody sends to Janet's house. But all the information is there. So if you want to participate in a 10-for-9 artist trading card swap, go look at that tab and see. Go look at that tab and see how you can participate. Everybody can participate. All the deets and rules and everything there are there. So this is what I'm going to do today. I did have a little top of a watch here. So let me pull some of these over here. I want this over here. I did pull a few mountains, some space. And let me go ahead and look through. I'm going to pull out some watch. Let me just do this real quick, then I'll get to chatting. Like I'm not already chatting. Hi, Messy Palette Oz, broke with an E. Put it in caps if you're talking to me. There's a nice big blue, and there's some nice blue water edges there. Put it in caps if you're talking to me. And make sure you have all messages or live chat, whichever it says on your device, above on your chat window. Let me move this out of the way. All right, let me cut this out. All right, so I'm just going to cut this out. I don't know if that I'm going to use this one or a half of it or a part of it or make it a what do you call it? I think I'll get some of that on there. A doorway, a portal. Y'all know I love me some space. Portals, dimension, science fiction. Okay, so we'll see. Cut it in half or a partial cut. We'll see. All right, this is kind of cool. I don't think I want to use it today, but that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Keep that back in the thing here. All right, let's pick a couple more just in case I decide. Here's one. Here's one that's blue and gold. That one looks like it matches well with the mountains. I usually start by picking my collage elements. I'll pick a theme and not necessarily a full-on theme. Like I don't know if I'm going to put bird, fish, or what on these, but I went with mountains. I went with mountains, water, and a little bit of space, which are some of my favorite themes. And then the next thing I usually do is go by color. So that's my next move, if you will. Y'all know, y'all been here long enough to see the hundreds of collages I've done. Dot said, I'm looking forward to getting Dee Dee giveaway. Oh gosh, Dot. Okay, well, Dot, you've won a couple times. I don't remember. And guys, after I send out, it's just that I remembered a couple of y'all from Monday because it was just Monday. But once I send that stuff out the next week, I'm not going to remember what was sent to you. I remember sending it to you, but I don't necessarily remember what I sent to you. Now, if you have super chatted me, I do try to, and I send you out a thank you print. I do try to, I'm just going to kind of just go around these because I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I do try to make a note of what print I sent you, but I don't even always do that. So if you get a duplicate print from me and you don't want a third one, let me know. I'll say, Dee, you've already sent that to me twice. Especially you regulars like Debbie or, you know, people that super chat me quite often. I don't want to keep sending you. Now, this last print that I'm sending out, I just printed them out before I sent them. So I know nobody has one of those. So, yeah. Do I need any of this? Maybe I'll keep this one. So the ones I sent out yesterday are new prints that I've made. So, all right. I think I have enough. So I'm going to put all. See, at some point you just stop. Otherwise, I could go through every one of these pieces of paper for the next 30 minutes to an hour. And nothing wrong with that. And if you're sitting there at home and you know, that's fine. I'm trying to stream and, you know, so I even make it a little even extra quick. But at some point when you're going through your collage fodder, you have to just pick and stop. Otherwise, you will never do a collage. You'll never do one. Because you're going to be so busy and you know, sometimes that's fun and relaxing just to go through the collage fodder, go flip through your books. You know, you may not have any intention of doing a collage at that moment. And you might just be flipping through for ideas, you know, write them down if you get a cool idea or cut that one element out that you really have the idea for. I have not looked through these books this morning. I just picked, I mean, I've looked through them before, but not this morning. This one, and this one are what I decided I'm going to choose from for these two collages today. And so, you know, other than the watches here and my jelly plated extras here. All right, so let's see who's here. Lisa, have I missed anybody? If I missed saying good morning to you, came in while I was looking away, say hi again, and I will say good morning to you. Annie Mame, lately I have really given myself permission to make yeah, and you know what? You have to do that, Annie Mame. You have to just go for it. You're not expecting it to be ugly or not turn out. You have to expect that somehow it's going to work out. But at the same time, you have to realize it may not work out. And if it doesn't, and you just really hate, just throw it away. Just throw it away and move on. If you really can't stand it and it's going to be dwelling on your mind, just move on. You know, it's pieces of paper. You know, I use craft paint. I've told y'all that before for my collages. I just use Americana Deco Art craft paint. When I do my jelly plating, I'll use sometimes nicer paints. I'll use my goldens. I'll use golden, or I'll use the heavy bodies, or you know, just different brands. I'm not a brand snob. All my alcohol markers are all different kinds. But the reason I like to use craft paints in my collage, and in my art journals, the number one reason for, well, there's two reasons. One, I like Americana. They have a lot of colors. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Cassie. You're an overthinker. And it's easy to do. And I do it at times too, especially when you're halfway through or you're getting really into it. And then you have to kind of just say, look, you started this without overthinking. So let's continue it without too much overthinking. So the other reason I like my craft paints is because color pencil goes over these. It's a matte paint. Now, Americana Deco Art is not the only matte craft paint, but I like it because there's so many colors and because my color pencils, and I primarily use Prismacolor, will go over these with no problem. I've given y'all demos, and I don't think I have my little sheet right here in front of me of how easily color pencil goes over the top of Americana. Now, it does not go over Americana metallics. Okay, now, you can hard pressure and get some color pencil down. It's because these are matte. They're matte paints. And whereas some, a lot of the golden, if not all, I don't know. I mean, I have these right here, these golden So Flats, color pencil will go over these, but it's not going to necessarily go over all the heavy body paint. And like, let me just pick one here, now this is a metallic, so I wouldn't even consider this being something that color pencil will go over. But you got your tube paints like this, they have a sheen to them, most of them, not all of them, and you have to test. And they're more expensive. It depends on what you're doing. I just like my Americana. They're less, about $1 a color. And, you got to shake them up. You got to make sure that the oils and, they'll separate if you don't use them for a while. You got to shake them up. But they're perfect for color penciling. And I also use them in my color books. I'll water them down and put washes in my color book as backgrounds. And y'all see I've got tons of videos on that too. And then you can color pencil over the wash of watered down acrylic paint. And it's a cool technique. If you've not tried it, don't use your brand new hardcover, color book that you spend $25 on to test. I mean, I use it on mine, but don't do it if you haven't done a little test or practice. Okay, so a couple things here before we get started in my little discussion. I did make a couple notes so I can keep it succinct. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move my two mats out of the way just because I don't want to have to think about getting matte medium on. I'm just going to throw them over my shoulder on the back of my chair here just to get them out of my way. And then I'm going to put down some wax paper. I think I'm going to need 2 sheets probably. I'll readjust the light here. Hang on. All right. And I'll just move them back and forth on here. I also have some tape here. I have some tape if I need to but I'll probably want to move it around. So, all right. So how my discussion really what I wanted to say started, and just hear me out, people. Hear me out. Okay. I got a couple of notes here. Let me grab those. So how it started out, Janet already knows this. Let me get a sip of my lemon water. I went to mail the Happy Mail yesterday. And y'all know I mailed out a bunch of the 9x12, the white envelopes, and I mailed, and again, first off, I don't see Terry Brett here right now. This has nothing to do with Terry Brett. It just so happened that this happened at the post office. It doesn't matter if I have to pay $30 to send Terry Brett something. I'll continue to do so. So just FYI, and I'm not saying this. I do not want Terry Brett to feel any kind of way about it. This is just what happened at the post office. So all my mail, my envelopes, my ATC packs, I had a couple of priority packs to send out, boxes to Annie out in LA and stuff like that. Everything was, the same price as everything else, except when it came to England. I sent Tori to Ireland. I sent some to Canada. Everything was the same price. So my one envelope, flat envelope with just a few sheets of paper in it, cost me $8.50. Even my post office lady goes, let me put that in again. That can't be right. So for whatever reason, now let me finish. Don't anybody jump in here and start, just listen to me. So I was telling to Janet, and my post office lady goes, well, I guess it's the tariff situation, but it's just England. It's not Europe. It's not EU. It was just England. That this one envelope cost me $8.50. Yeah, Tori, yours to Ireland was, the usual $2.50 or whatever it is, for a big envelope like that, flat. Now, I'm not talking about packages or anything. So I said, well, I'm sending it to her regardless. I want Terry to get these papers. So, and again, if Terry listens to this later, it has nothing to do with Terry. I'm not, please don't anybody, think that. It's just because it was to England that this happened. So I thought I would just go ahead and just say a couple things because of all the situation going on in the world. First off, I'm going to start by saying this has not ever been and never will be a political channel. This is not a political channel. This is an art channel. Everybody's welcome here. I don't care which side of the aisle, what country, what religion, you are all welcome here. I don't care about your sexual orientation, all that. You are welcome here. Doesn't mean I agree with everything you say or do, but you are welcome here in this art channel. Okay. So, sometimes, some things come up, a political or religious or, something will come up, but we try to just kind of, okay, yeah, keep it brief and move on. We're not so I just want to keep that on the first off on the table. For 15 years I have streamed for 15 years, and that's always been my rule. Okay, like I said, things come up, like the tariff things come up, and we're all a little anxious. We don't know what's going to happen. We in this country, half the country thinks one way, half thinks the other. And if you are an art channel and you want to have politics discussed on your channel or whatever, that's up to you. Totally up to you what you do with your channel. But I will say this, if you are discussing politics in your art channel, you are going to disenfranchise half of your audience, especially from the United States. We have over half the people in this country that has voted one way over the other. Last 4 years, it was the other way. Okay. And I still had the same rules in my channel. Still have the same rules in my channel, regardless who's in the White House or any of that. Okay. So we have to be respectful and remember that we're here for creativity. And I don't want half my audience to be disenfranchised because of one side or the other. Okay. So let me see them on my notes. I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say. I wrote it down real quick just to, keep it succinct, like I said. But I wanted to bring that up because there are going to probably be some issues where things are going to either cost more, trade's going to go this way or that way. Of course, our country's going to be thinking about our country. Your country's going to be thinking about how your country's going to be affected. But regardless, we want to have a good art community here where everybody's welcome here. That's why I do not have, again, some things come up every now and then, but we don't discuss politics because I have been online and in online chat rooms since 1993. So going, 35 years or something like that. I have never, not one, well, I won't say never, but 99.9% of the time, channels that have chats that discuss politics and usually also religion, it's just a big hate. It's just a big trash fire, dumpster fire, I think it's called. So, that's not why we're here. If anything, we're here to have a break from all that. We want to have a break from that. And again, anybody that wants to do their channels however they want to do it, but just be aware. And I've seen some artists already talking about this is going to, this is high on, it's going to put me out of business and it's all US, it's all this person's fault. Well, you just cut off half the people that might be purchasing from you. If you're going to hate, literally hate on one side of the aisle, and I'm talking mostly to Americans here because I don't get too far in the weeds and international politics. Now we all have to a little bit. But if you are going to hate on the other half of the spectrum, political spectrum, and just trash on those people, you hate them, you don't like them, you think they're crap, you think they're not buying from you. I'm not buying from you. I'm just going to say it, regardless of which side of the political spectrum you are on. So if you as an artist and a seller want to trash half the country, that's your channel. You can do whatever you want. We're not doing it here. Okay. We're not doing it here. So like I said, everybody here is everybody's here welcome, regardless of your political, your sexual, well, within reason. This is a family channel, people. I will remind y'all of that. Don't come in here and, we've had issues with, over the top sexual comments and we just call them trolls and we block them and we move on. But, y'all know y'all know what I'm talking about. Or your religion. I don't care. You're welcome here. And we're not going to be hating on each other in my chat. You'll just be kicked out. If you start hating on somebody in the chat, Janet knows for sure, and Tina, and probably now Kat, if I hadn't discussed it with her, we don't do hate here. If you're going to hate on anybody, just take it someplace else because they'll just put their big mod boots on and you're gone. So that's the only people that are not going to be welcome here is hate. Okay. So that's it. All right. So there's my little rant for the day. And the reason, like I said, the only reason I brought it up is because issues will probably be coming up, financial reasons for different people. And I just, sadly had to use Terry as an example because it was her country that is charged me $8. Right. So anyway, yeah. So I'm going to go scroll back and see what anybody said, see if there's anything to address or any issues, and then we're moving on. Okay, we're moving on. Let's see. Just I had a Jennifer. Let's see. I said hi to Angie. Scrolling. I had said hi to Flo. Hi, View. Sharon. Seeing who else I missed while I was running my mouth. Well, and another thing, guys, let's just be honest. Neither side's going to change the other side's mind. That's one of the things I've seen in 35 years of online chat. Nobody changes anybody's mind. It's a rare thing they even listen to each other, let alone change each other's mind. It doesn't happen. You might have a close friend in your own world where you deal with that one person or you're emailing them and discussing things privately, one-on-one. But I can tell you in a chat room, people are going to jump aside. They're going to take a side and that's it. There's no change in anybody's mind. So, we're just not going to do that here. Y'all can go do that on Facebook. Go do that on Facebook, which, I'll jump in every now and then on Facebook. And then usually I regret even saying anything. But this right here, this channel is for art and creativity. Thanks, Cassie. Let's see. Hi, Pamela B. Did I say hi to you? I think I did. All right. So let's see. Hi, Hermie. Okay. Let me go ahead and get me a sip of water. I did get me out some pineapple slice or chunks and a strawberry so I can keep my voice going. Let me chew that up and let's see what we can do here. All right. So I will continue to send out my happy mail regardless. So, well, I mean, as long as I take my mail. I mean, there was a while there that Canada postal thing, they went on strike, and my post office said we're not taking any mail to Canada. For those few weeks or a couple months or whatever, we couldn't send anything to Canada. But other than something like that, I'm going to continue to send out my happy mail. Okay. All right. So let's see. Yeah, it is a complex issue, Auntie May. Exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and get off that now. And I'm going to see what I want to do here. Like I said, I've not gone through these books I've gone through these books, obviously. I've used all these books at times. But I'm going to decide what kind of scene I want to make. Hi, Riri, and thanks again, Riri, for my chicken book. Oh my gosh, I love that thing so much, Riri. If y'all missed it, Riri sent me this book. Where'd I put it? Where is it? It was right here. I have my book stack somewhere. Where'd I put my book stack? Let's see. Hang on, where'd I set it? Because I wanted to pull it back out for a purpose. And now, oh, no, that's not it. Well, I don't know where I set it, Riri, but thank you so much for my chicken book. Here it is. All right. The literary chickens, and they're all black and white photos. I probably am not going to cut this up because another reason, y'all also know I love books, and I don't mind cutting books up that are destined for the dumpster, or are not really, they're not worth, they're just library book cast-offs and stuff like that. But I love books. I love to read, and I read a lot. And this book also has literary quotes next to each chicken. And if I cut up one of the chickens, then I'm cutting up my literary quote, which I don't mind writing it down. Trust me, I write all that stuff down anyway. But I just love these chickens so much, Riri. So thank you. And let me give you all the ISBN. Let me see what year this book came out to. Let y'all know that. This is a first edition. Came out in no, that's not it. I think it's 19. Well, there's a couple editions. This one right here, I'm looking for, I think it's 1985. No, 2018. I think it's 2018. Sometimes it's mixed up in all the other dates. I think it's 2018. So let me give y'all the, and I did find out, since it is from Riri, let me write it on the, I always try to keep track of who sent me my stuff if they send me books. Okay. All right. ISBN. Where's the ISBN? Don't tell me there's no ISBN. It could be what do you call it? A Barnes and Noble book and something like that. This is a different one, also available. And there's ISBNs for those. But there's not one for this book. Unless it's covered up under this little sticker. Let me pull this sticker out and see. No, sticker's not coming off. So you'll just have to look up Literary Chickens by Beth Moon. Okay. All right. Next, I'm going to lay these out and see what I have. I've just kind of pulled some different things, and I cut and tear as I go. You found on it? Amazon Fritchie? Okay. So I'm just gonna, and I might make this different. You don't have to use everything like it is. You cut it up, do what works on your piece. So I'm gonna want some, and I think I'm gonna tear some of this. Torn edges, and I say this every time because it really is important. Let me move my trash can a little closer so Janet doesn't yell at me when stuff gets thrown on the floor. Oh, thank you, Keeks. Thank you so much. Aw, well, you're welcome, Keeks, and thank you. And I do send out thank yous to Super Chatters, and if you also support me on PayPal. I took down my PayPal link, But if y'all want to find me, and some of the people that have been following me for a long time on PayPal have my PayPal. Will send me something, and I do thank them. Pamela's one that sends me something, and I do send out prints and thank yous. Sometimes art cards or something like that. But thank you, Keeks, and I'm still got to remember that you're Fortnite. So thank you so much. I'll send you a thank you in the mail. All right, so let's see here. But I do appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Hi, John. And John supports me, and I support his channel. John is our resident Oak Island person. And I won't get into it too much with John here, but oh my gosh, John, they're going to do another case on hole dug. John and I have been watching Oak Island since day one. And he also has a Oak Island channel and a Facebook page. Got like 70,000 followers. More, I think, more on Facebook. On YouTube. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But y'all go follow John if y'all are interested in. I know, right, John? If y'all are interested in Oak Island, even if y'all don't think they're going to find anything, there's no treasure. The treasure was gone long ago. Whatever. It's still fun to think about the history, listen to and I know we all get a little, oh gosh, more wood. We've heard it all, haven't we, John? But he and Judy do a Wednesday night, because Oak Island comes on Tuesday nights, and they do a recap, a synopsis on Wednesday night, and about 7:30, I think it is 7:30, John, on YouTube. And I think is it in conjunction with Facebook too, but for sure YouTube. And so if you want to listen, just watch people talk about Oak Island. I don't. John. So thanks, John, for stopping by and supporting the channel. Oh my gosh. So yeah, 7:30. Okay. So yeah, y'all go over and support John, if you're interested in history. And I love history. I love ancient history. So oh, Debbie, thank you so much. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate you. We try. We try to keep it positive and inspiring. Sometimes in the world it's hard to do that, but we do our best. And we try to be respectful, if nothing else. We try to be respectful of each other, just as human beings, people. And like I talked about on Monday, I'm sure everybody here can find something to be thankful for, right? So thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to continue on here, and let's see what we can do. I love this. But I think I might even just tear it. I want to tear this into a couple different, we'll keep the sky net up here, keep the water down here. We'll just put the mountains in between. Something like that, maybe. Another mountain over here. Let's just go ahead and I'll just cut this down. So just play in peace and, move things around and see, where you might like them. Now, when I go to collage everything down, things move, things change, but I'm just kind of getting a like I can go right here where that circle is, so I can kind of just give me an idea there where that's going to go. And yeah. And plus, I paint everything in. Y'all know. Oh, thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. Oh, well, I appreciate that. And thanks, guys. And yeah, y'all are great supporters of the channel, and I do appreciate all of y'all. And I got some new prints out. So Tammy's already got one. I think Debbie too. They both have the new one coming that I made. They'll be getting one of those already because I mailed all those yesterday. So, but I'll send y'all something different. I try to remember. I try not to send y'all duplicates, but sometimes I know it happens. Let's see. Thanks, guys. And yeah, Kat's telling everybody thank you. I love that book you sent me, Riri. Thank you so much. It is so fun, and things like that just make you smile, bring a smile to your face. There's nothing like that, you know. All right, so somehow this little astronaut appeared out of nowhere. He might end up going in here somewhere. Or maybe he's either peeking out or coming around the mountain when he comes. He'll be coming around that mountain. Oh, thank you, Riri. Sorry, I can't sing either, but I do. I did notice that he's coming around. Janet's gonna call me later. And go, Dee Dee, don't sing, don't sing, Dee Dee. Is she already saying it? Oh my gosh. Anyway, hi Cindy. Who else am I missing? Thank you, Riri. Yes, thank you. And that's very important too, guys. Give me a thumbs up. I don't ever really say it much, you know. Follow me, you know, because it's a live, we don't get a lot of comments after the fact because we're all chatting here. But any comments help too later after the show. I just say it here. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm liking this. Um, but I do want to incorporate some of the collage soup in this today. Let's make our mountains go straight. You know, they could go on a curve, you know, they could go on the curve of the earth, but you know, I just think that this might be kind of cool right in here somewhere. Somewhere he'll go in there. I'll work him in. We're gonna work him in. Y'all are so funny. All right. So now, do I want a big time element or do I want a small time element? Let's wait on that for a minute. He just kind of fit there. So let's look at some of my jelly plated papers here. I do love these. I do love this, but I think this probably will fit more on that one. But let me fix my little string here. I don't want to end up getting that in the matte medium. I'll tuck it back under there we go. Like this. See, this works well. And that gives it a nice contrast to that. I like that too. And of course, it's going to depend on what else I find in the books. I haven't even gone through the books yet. maybe some more mountains. This could be in some of the mountains. Maybe with some waterfalls going over them or something. Let's cut this one in. Put a couple things here. Maybe something down here. I got to decide something over here. And then let's see. So is anybody working on anything fun? Reading any cool books? I know Debbie's trying not to finish the book from the Cracked Spine series because it's just came out. It's book 10. Just came out. And you know she's going to come out with another book for another year probably. And but I have so enjoyed all 10 of her books. And I did post all the books on my community tab. Well, I'm sorry, it's called the post tab now. I did post the books in there. I think it was last week, and I also posted them all on Instagram. And she did comment and answered me. I don't know if you saw that, Debbie, the author. But hopefully she's working on another. Because, and I know she has some other series too. I might read the type one. I forget the name of it now, but there's 2 in that series. I might go for that one next. So we'll see. Let's see, Nana Mo. The struggle's real to read it slowly. I hear you, Debbie. I hear you. I might go back and just skim through some parts because I don't want it to be over either. And they're cozy mysteries. If y'all don't know what Debbie E and I are talking about, it's the Crack Spine series. It's a series about a girl that's from Kansas that goes to Scotland and works at a really cool, unusual bookstore and solves murders. I mean, that's pretty much what it boils down to, right, Debbie? But she writes her characters so well. Let me see. I'll show you all the picture I posted here. Let me go to my photos. Scrolling. Here it is. So this is the first one. Cracked Spine. That's the first one. Paige Shelton. And then I had 3 that I bought in paperback, which I don't like to read paperbacks. They're just so small to read. So anytime I can get the hardbacks, I do. So then I got 5 of them in the hardback, 3, these, and plus that one. And then this is the newest one, written in stone. And that's the one Debbie is talking about trying not to read too fast because she wants to savor it. Hi, Christina. Anybody else coming in? All right, so I'm liking this. And what I'll do is once I lay it out like this, I'll take another, because I have quite a few of these discs. And what I'll do is I'll just take another disc to start putting the matte medium on and just kind of transferring it over so I can keep this laid out, kind of, sort of. All right, hang on. My chair's jacked up in my rug here. There we go. So there's a start there. Again, I'm thinking this, but I didn't even really need to tear it because I'm just going to tuck it behind. And usually I paint out the watch hands anyway and put the watch hands where I want them to be. There, something like that. I like that. All right, so we got that one kind of laid out. I do like some of this, but I don't want to get too many patterns in here. I think this one pattern's enough. And then I'll have some waterfalls and some other things. Plus, I'm going to go through my other collage books to see what else I might want in this world. What other elements I want other than the astronaut that I want in this world. Not too much because, you know, he's going to obviously be a major part of the story. And then I paint everything in, the rocks, the water, some waterfalls, stars and outer space. Let's see. Did I say to you, Cassie? Hi, Kathy Berg. Who else am I missing? I'm sure. Yes, it is an interesting story and it's fun too. It is. I'm not talking about it because I don't want to give anything away, especially to Debbie, who's in the middle of reading it and who's the one that turned me on to the books. So we're not going to do any spoilers. Hi, Leah. Did I say hi to you earlier? Let's see. Put it in caps, guys, if you're talking to me. Okay. So I'm going to kind of move this a little bit up here till I can go through the books. Now let's go ahead real quick and look at this mountain scene and see what I want to, how I want to lay this one out. Move my chair over this way. So this one I have, this is out of that space. And Riri, I think, sent me that space. You sent me that space book too, didn't you, Riri? This is out of that book. Then we got something. And turn things upside down, right side up. You don't have to put it like you think it should be. You can do an upside down world if you want. Okay, I think I'm going to cut this mountain range out. And maybe put that over here. Do I want any clouds? I'm not liking the color of this I like this color better than that color. So I think I'm going to forgo those. Have this little mountain kind of come over that a little bit. And this can come over that. Let's see. Again, wrong color blue for this. So we'll put this aside. And let's see what else we got. I want to watch or some kind of element of time in here. I think I'm going to have it come behind this mountain here. I don't know why I got my big scissors out. They're okay to cut, but I like cutting with my little cutter bees. These are the best little scissors. If you ever have to want to buy a little, these are fun. I mean, are they the best in the world? I don't know, but they're good. Okay, little time element hidden right there. Try not to move all this around. Just shove it over there. What else do I want? Okay, so I don't think I need any more watches or clocks, so let's move those. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like this blue bit. Let me test this blue one out here. Let's see if I like this blue one better than the one with the black edge. This might be better. Let's cut this one out and see. I don't see anything in caps, so I'm going to keep rolling. Let's see. Do I like that better? I think I like the blue better. It stands out just a little bit more. So we're going to roll with the blue one. There we go. All right, so there's that. Move this to the side. What do I have? Where's my watch pouch? Here it is. If y'all missed it earlier, I went through my bucket of jelly-plated papers. I went through that because, like I said, the only time I really use them a lot, other than just little snippets like this, is when Carrie the Crafter does a challenge. And he won't be probably doing another one of those for a year. So I need to start thinking about how I'm going to use them. All right, so I got some more little pieces of some mountains here. Or it's some water, but they're in the shape. I've made them in the shape of a mountain. So we can layer up some more mountains or something here. Maybe here. And they'll change up a little bit. They'll change up a little bit as I glue things down. Let's put this on top. And I'm going to want some of this over here. I try to kind of carry it through, you know. I don't have any more of that. So something's kind of similar. That's what I used over there. I don't want the same thing. I did want a little of that there, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't have enough. And I'm not getting out the jelly plate, so maybe just some of this. Yeah, it's not enough contrast. All right, well, then I think I'll just paint something in over there. Go back through this and see if I want something else right in here. Okay. And maybe a little bit of that over here. I think I'm going to paint on this, but I don't really need this. So I'm just talking out loud, but I'll go ahead and throw that over there. So if you have any questions, I think once I start getting in with the matte medium and everything, I'm probably going to miss comments. Hi, Stephanie G. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm not ignoring you. It's just that once you start getting into wet medium, you got to kind of be focused while you're gluing, you know. Let's see. I said hi to Marguerite. All right, so this is where we're going. We're gonna do both of them. I mean, we're gonna glue them down. But I have another. This one looks a little warped. me get one that doesn't look, oh, it's just a little warped. I don't know why. Might have to put it under a book or something. No, you know what? Before I start gluing down, even though I know this is going to be the backgrounds, let me go ahead and go through my books. I'm getting so involved with and I'm just going to kind of make a crease here where I know I can cut that down and kind of lays it out for me. All right, so let's go ahead and look in our books and decide what we want. Do we want fish in space? Do we want birds in the mountain? Do we want them to be silly, funny? We have things that make you go, maybe we should start with this one. What do y'all think? All right, let's see if I can make some room. This right here that you see, this is my whole desk area. It looks bigger when I have those new mats on it, but it's actually, this is my working space. Over there, I got paints and piles. Right here is the computer, right there, literally right there. So starts the the keyboard and computer. So I have a whole table behind me, and then I have an L shape over here. But as far as my working area, this is it. This is my working area. Oh, thanks, Kat. Kat's putting in links to Collage Soup. And if I post these, anytime I use any amount of either Collage Soup or Pour Toast books, I will also take a picture of the book and post the book. If I just get one little element out of it like this, I don't post the whole book and do that. But anytime I'm using any significant amount of things out of any of these books, and I've trust me, I have promoted them, and I'm not sponsored by them. I buy all my books. Nobody sends me any. Poor Toast has offered to give me some. I buy them. Then I don't feel obligated to use them. I don't feel like, like gave me this book, so I really should give it a review. I really should use it. I feel no compulsion to do that. I'm free to use whatever I want to use. And when I use it, I do promote them because I do love their books. No question about it. All right, so let's see what we got here. I'm just going to kind of look through here. And at the same time, while I'm looking through it, I'm also thinking about both my pieces here. Okay. So, and then y'all get to kind of look at the books too. Oh, thank you, Dot. That's sweet of you. Dot wins quite a bit. And so far, Dot, the higher the higher postage is not hasn't applied to you yet, but I haven't mailed anything to you this week. But I'm going to mail you a thank you. So thank you so much, Dot. We'll see what happens, and if and my post office lady, I have a very, very tiny post office, and if it hadn't have been like 5 people behind me waiting to check out, we would have compared lots of other countries, but we didn't have time to do that yesterday because there were people standing behind. Let me turn this brightness back up a little. So we didn't have time to check into other issues. So if y'all miss what I'm talking about, go back to the first 15 minutes of my stream here, because I'm not going back over it again. What is that picture? What is that picture on? You mean these discs, Ellen? Are you talking about the wood discs? Is that what the pictures are on? Is that what you mean? The base, the substrate? Aw, thanks, Dot. I appreciate it. Yeah, they're wooden discs, and they come in I've found them in 3 sizes, and I get them at Hobby Lobby, and they go on sale 40% off every 3rd week or so. So I always wait, and they come in a pack of 3. So like I can get 3 of this size. I think they're normally $10, and then I get them for, 6 for 3. And then there's a smaller size, which is about a 10 and a half. Then there's a smaller, which is a 6.5. And so, yeah. And they're basswood. Is that what it's called? Basswood. It's thin wood. Yeah. Maybe paying more for it. We'll see. But in the meantime, we're going to carry on. All right. So I like this Albert Einstein quote, and I do have this written in my Society of Idea Collector notebook under quotes. Creativity is intelligence, having fun. I've been I always loved Einstein quotes, but Deb E., have you been attuned to the Einstein quotes in the in the new book. She does, so in case y'all, well, y'all, unless you've read the series, you don't know. So the girl in the book, the heroine, the main girl in the Cracked Spine series books, she all her life has her, and it was a thing, and when she was growing up and everything, she hears voices of authors in her head, not all the time, but when she's they pop up every time she's trying to solve a mystery or something, and she'll get, and you can just call it your intuition, some kind of a remembrance, because she knows who they are when she says it for the most part. So when she hears a quote in her head, she usually knows who the author is that said it. So it's something she's heard sometime in her life, but her intuition brings back a quote from a book, and it helps her to solve a puzzle or a mystery or a question that she has. And so yeah, so that's kind of her, yes, her bookish voices. And so that gives it an extra twist to the story plot, and it just makes it even a little more interesting, because you never know, she doesn't ever know when her bookish voices are going to appear, and you don't either. But if she does have one, she'll tell you who said it. I think in the last book it was the Queen, the Queen Elizabeth. She had passed away in one of the books, and I guess it was during when she was writing one of the books. I don't remember the name, which book it was of the 10 that she's written, and she would hear the Queen's voice helping her. Remember that one, Debbie? She'd hear the Queen's voice. And she says, "Oh, I read that autobiography about the Queen." And so she'd read it somewhere, or seen it on the news or heard it on the radio, but she knew it was the Queen's quote. So anyway. All right. So, but y'all really, if y'all had not read those books, they're really good. If you like cozy mysteries. Y'all like cozy mysteries. I like these cats. What about these cats romping through here? Romping through the universe. What about those cats romping through the universe? I like that idea. See, now I'm going to just roll with it. We're going to cut those cats out, and they're going to be in that universe. Okay, so let's see if I find anything else for this one. Because we got our astronaut. I do want him. He's peeking over, so anything could be going on down here while he's peeking over the mountains, right? Yeah, it was cool, right, Debbie? All right, so let's see. Do we want some aliens in this one? I don't like the green's too stark for me for this. Like, this color would be good, but I don't really care for her that much. Some little puppets would be, oh, now see, those guys would be good. The astronaut could be looking over onto this scene, and these guys could be in there. What do y'all think? What do y'all think of those guys? I'll keep looking for this one for a minute, because I'm not 100% sure I want them yet. I do want the cats on that one. See, remember the name of this book. Makes you go, All right, let's keep rolling here. And I know let me zoom in one, because I am going to zoom in anyway when I start gluing each individual one. Turn the brightness down just a tad. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good. Since he's an astronaut, and remember, I also picked out the fish book, and I'll flip through them just so y'all can see those books. I've shown them before when I bought them, but just in case, because they don't do flip throughs on Amazon when you buy these collage books, so you don't really get to see them, inside. So, or even just some kind of weird creatures like these or something. These might be good on the landscape here. Maybe he's looking over and seeing these guys. Oh, Lord, more cats. Running cats. Herding cats. Okay, I can't use this for anything right now. We have to keep this for when we do giveaways. We're going to have to pull this out and call it herding cats. This has got to be in my special set aside. That's got to be in my set aside for herding cats when we do giveaways. uh, me too, Anne, right? But some little creatures, if it's not alien, these kind of weird looking, I don't really want to do bugs, but some kind of weird creatures that, that the astronaut is seeing, like these would be good. The red might stand out well on here, but they look too buggy. I don't really want the buggies. Let's see. I might go back to those first aliens. See, around Halloween is when I maybe put her in there. We do some creepy stuff around Halloween. Oh, let's see. I'm still liking the those first aliens, I think. Oh, look. Riri, look. Riri. This is going to have to be pulled out for the chickens. I'm not going to be using this creepy guy. But I do like that. I'm going to put that aside. Oh my gosh, more chickens. I love my conspiracy chickens. All right, let's see. And I do have a whole book of Collage Soup eyes. We've used that before. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go back to that first alien. Those two aliens. See, look, that's cool too. But I got enough stars and stuff. And plus, I'll paint things in, Typical rooster. Oh my gosh, all those cats there. All right, looks like I'm going to have to go back to those first ones. More cats. All right, so let's go back to the beginning here. Back to those first, these guys. It's either these guys or there's that other page. I think I'm going to go with these, though. I like the blue rather than the green. I think they'll be a little bit more blendy. These guys are a little too standout. All right. I think I'm going to roll with that. But at the same time, I am going to go ahead and show the other books that I pulled. The Something Fishy and the Bird Nerd book. Just kind of do a quick flip. Hi, Dar. So Devin, come. Hi, Devin. And don't forget Devin, Party Chicken. Yeah. Devin comes on at 3 Eastern. And she's going to do, you said what you were going to do, Devin. Now I forgot. Jelly plating something. What was it you're going to? You can put it in the chat. I forgot what you're going to do. See, I like these too. These would be good too. Especially if I did any kind of, and I've cut into these books, guys. I'm just saying they've all been cut into. Oh, I like those. They're black and white. I might. Okay, hang on. Let me move all this to the back. I like those 3 guys. Those might be good. What do y'all decide? Y'all decide. What do you like? Do you like these 3 fish? I'm letting y'all help pick. Or the aliens for this piece right here. Let me move it up here. Okay. What do y'all think? You want the 3 aliens? I'm going to cut them out. All the background's going to be gone. Do you like those 3 aliens with my astronaut? Or do you like these 3 fish with and this will be a star shine. This will have a glow. I'll have that glow. Or do you like those 3 fish? Which do y'all like? I got 1 fish and 1 alien. The washi sticker. Okay, that's right. So y'all go ahead and watch Devin today at 3 Eastern. She's going to do washi sticker play. Thank you. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Okay, fish just for the color. Yeah, see, I'm liking the fish for the color too. All right, I think more people are saying fish now. Okay, so I'm going to put the aliens away. And let me go ahead and finish showing y'all. Let me just trim this down real quick. I'm going to cut them out, but I'll just trim them down so y'all can kind of see them on the piece for a minute. So these guys will be in there. All right. Is there anything on here I want to keep? Oh, this side's it's got a couple of cool jellyfish. All right, so let me continue to show you guys this book. I like these fish right. All right, let's put these scraps in the back because they're going to be annoying. Look at those fish with the goggles. These are fun books, guys. If y'all don't, and you can get a lot of the Collage Soup books digitally. I don't do the digi collages, but or printouts. I like the real books. I like going through them. That's just me. I like. I'm seeing some cool dolphins there. No, Dee Dee, stick with the lantern fish. Let's stick with the lantern fish. I'm messing up the pieces. I already laid them out so carefully, and then I'm moving them around. But I want y'all to kind of see some of the pieces in these books. They're really cool. They're fun. Sharks with wings. And I've used these before on, I did Logan a collage with, I think it was with birds. I did him one with birds. And I've shown all the different ones that I've done, even though I post them on Instagram for the most part. But, once they're out of my house, you have to go look at them on Instagram because that's, where you can see them. All right, so that one is, and I didn't get every single page, and a lot of pages I've torn out and cut out too. So there's more to it. And then the other one that I had pulled to think about possibly using was the bird nerd one. All right, let's see. Ken said, put the aliens back in the hanger. Oh my gosh. This goes in the Wingnut book. Cat, put the aliens back in the hanger. Let me get the Wingnut book. Oh my gosh, we all know what the Wingnut book is. It's a book that I collect funny quips, quotes, and little cool things y'all say. Or just write it down on a Post-it note, and then we slap it in the Wingnut book because we're all just a bunch of wingnuts. Look at them all, and they just go in any random spot, and they just pile up in here. I've told y'all a story over and over that Denise at a couple of times has wanted to look at these. I go ahead, look at it. She goes, none of this makes any sense. I said, no, you had to be there. This is the had to be there Wingnut book. It's made by Tim Holtz. It has the little wing nuts. And I just put a piece of scrapbook paper and put some. Thanks, Kat. That was a good one. Aliens are back in the hangar. Oh, let's see. Terry. Hi, Terry. We talked about you earlier. Well, not about you so much, but you'll have to go back and watch it later. Let's see. Cassie, I'm scrolling. Make sure I try to say hi to everybody. And I do go back and scrub through my chat to make sure I didn't miss anybody, especially new people. But, I do miss people. I'm just saying. Not on purpose, though. Okay, so this is the Bird Nerd book by Collage Soup, Emily Stone. And I love this one as much as the fish book. So let's see if I can. And a lot of them are torn out and in pieces and everything here. So you can see I've used them and torn them out. And there's a nice big owl. Some more chicken. I should keep this one out with the other chicken, with this one. And my herding cats. These are going to have to go in my pull these out and show every now and then stack. So some eggs, and I've got cut them out here and there. And oh, Dee, on TV in background, my child asked, "Who's talking?" I said, "Dee Dee. She stopped by to visit. She said, I'll let you go so you can talk." I'll let you go so you can talk. That's cute, Brenda. Tell her I said hi. All right. I haven't seen Cat and Paste, Terry. I haven't seen her here this morning. She may, and I work at people's streams too. I'm working on something, and I'll lurk and work. There's just so many cool ones, birds and fish, to make fun collages. Use them in, y'all see I use a lot of the stuff in my red collage journal, my red collage mixed media journal. These are kind of cool, but they're kind of creepy cool to me. Maybe it's because they're just in sepia tones, so they look extra old and creepy. You know what I mean? Like, look at him. That's where I cut that other owl out right there. So y'all can get a little view of what's in these books, because like I said, I don't know. I think it's Amazon doesn't allow you to do print on demand flips, but we all share and show on our streams, which I'm sure Emily appreciates when we do that. And Portoast does as well, when we can flip through their books and show y'all what's in them, because you can't see them on Amazon. All right. I think about done here. Lots of cool birds, some realistic, some surreal, mostly surreal, but they're fun to do in your art journals, which I'm not pulling my art journal out right now because y'all seen me a gazillion times, because I got to do some cutting now. Got to do a little fussy cutting. All right, so I'm going to move the cat off to the side for a minute. So because I'm only going to work on one at a time. I could work on two at a time, but I think I'm just going to work it one at a time, just because of the space, the space requirement, so you can see it right here. If I had two going on, I'm going to be shuffling a lot of stuff around. All right, let's go ahead and let me cut these out real quick. I can cut them out pretty quick. So, and I might even tint them. I might tint them a blue. All right, let's see. One's going to have a fin and one's not. So, because they overlap. All right. Got our little astronaut peeking out of behind the mountain there. This goes here. I'm just trying to kind of lay it out like I had it at the beginning. And then what I'll do is I'll pull another one. I'll move this to the side and then work on here, so I can kind of keep this laid out like I like it. You can also just take a picture of it and then work off your picture. All right, so let's kind of get this here. Got to set it right there. Grab the light again. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. And I'll paint in a glow. I'll paint a glow in there. Now, these guys I'll set to side and I'll glue them. Well, I don't know. I might put them behind a mountain. Let's see what happens here, because I'm having to cut off one of their fins on each one of them. But we can always, like I said, put a wash of color over them, like even a lighter, matching blue or something, like that shade of blue. So we'll see. All right. I'll go ahead and cut out all three. I don't see anything in caps, so I'm going to keep cutting here, guys. So the family's coming down this Sunday, and we're going to have our Easter celebration this Sunday because Cameron is driving out with his friend to Yellowstone during the week next week before Easter. So this will be their last. Well, Samantha's still here, of course, at school, but he'll be gone for 6 months back to Yellowstone. So he'll be going back next week, which he loves. Oh, thank you, Dar. Dar, I don't know if I have your current address. You might need to send me your current address. Let me give you my email. Hang on. Because I think you've moved since the last time I sent you any mail. Artie Dar's been around for the same 15 years that I've been streaming. So let me put my email in there, Dar. So email me your address, Dar. So, because I don't even know if I have it. I don't have it anymore, or you might have moved more than once. So send me your new address so I can send you a thank you, okay? All right, there we go. Let's cut this last one. Move some of this. Thank you, Dar. All right, let's see. If y'all missed it on Monday, Janet wrapped up the scavenger hunt, and someone named Nana Sheila, I can't remember her full name. Is Juju here? It was a friend of Juju's, I think, that participated in the scavenger hunt because of, I think Juju told her about it. And she was the one that won the gift card from Janet for participating. She got, you just had to have over 90, between 90 and 100. Well, you could go over 100 too if you wanted. But you had to have at least 90 done in the scavenger hunt, which Janet starts a new one every January on New Year's Eve. She's been doing it for I don't even know how many years. And it lasts till April 1st. In this case, she extended it to April 7th because that's the day she streamed on. And so if y'all missed it, she did the giveaway she did the random drawing for the people that participated on her Monday stream. So if y'all missed it, and she did a flip of her scavenger hunt, and she did a flip of her, hi Tina, and she did a flip of her passport journal, which is going to be great inspiration for our artist trading card swap. Let me find Janet here. Where are you, Janet? There she is. So there's Janet. Go follow Janet's channel, Janet M. Young, and go see where she did her scavenger hunt flip through and her passport journal flip through. And she also did talk about the ATC swap, and I talked about the ATC swap as well on my Monday stream, and we both posted all the details about it in our post tab under our main YouTube channel line. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry you're having such computer issues, Tina. Oh, well, I'm glad you got to come in. Thanks, Kat. There's Janet's Monday stream. So y'all need to go watch that if you missed it on Monday. All right, let me see what I can do with these little fishies now. And like I said, I think I'm going to probably do a light blue, a little bit of a light blue wash on them. Let's see, like that maybe, and then this one down in here. Let's see which one has the fin on. They both have a missing fin on their sides. That's okay. We're going to paint them in anyway. So I think I'm liking that. Kind of just balanced out, you know. Kind of, I like that. So we're going to go with that. And of course, like I said, we acrylic paint everything in. So let me go ahead and I'm going to tape down the bottom down here because I keep catching this with my sleeve down here, the wax paper. I keep catching it with my sleeve at the bottom here. So I'm going to just tape it down so I'm not constantly moving it. I think that should stick. This is a waxy, I mean, not a waxy, it's a vinyl wallpaper, peel and stick. So I'm just going to put this down here. Hopefully this tape will stick to it. We'll see. Just so my sleeve and everything's not catching on it. All right, so now I'm going to take another disc and I'm going to move this over here and I'm going to work right here. So I think this is going to work out. All right, let me get out my golden matte medium. This is what I use for all my collages. I say all my collages. If I'm just doing a little desk journal with some scraps or something, I'll throw that in there with a glue stick. But if I'm working on a collage in my art journals, discs, posters, this is what I use, golden matte medium. Okay, so let me get a little tray. I did get a fresh coffee lid here. And I keep a baggie over the top so that I don't glue the lid to the jar. And I'm going to pour some out there. Put the lid back on. He's not prepared for what is going on. Cassie, right? Okay. So let's see. Let me find a brush. I want a fairly big one. Do I have one handy? It's a little small. This one will probably, let me get it damp. And let me get some baby wipes. And I do have a paper towel here too. But I do go through the baby wipes. Let's put this over. Where do I need this? Because I'm going to use that after a while. Let's pull out a few baby wipes. All right. Again, if you have questions, put it in caps. Now, I may not see them. Let me get a bite of my pineapple here. A sip of my lemon water. I love doing the wooden discs. I didn't show my previous wooden discs this morning. I show them all the time. If we have time and somebody reminds me to say or to show them, I always say, remind me to show this or that. And I always forget, and everybody else forgets too. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you have to work back to front. So I'm going to take this watch piece first. And I do put a good glob of matte medium on here. I put quite a bit on here. Okay. Then I put it on the back. And then I also put it over the top. And then I usually just use a card. You can use a squeegee, a wedgie, cakes. I got all kinds of, you can use any of these. Usually I just grab a gift card, but you can use any kind of thing to scrape down. This is good for a larger area. This one's just heavy in my hand. And so I usually just grab a gift card, but you do need to scrape it down or you will have wrinkles and bubbles. Some people don't care if they have wrinkles and bubbles. I don't want any wrinkles. I don't want any wrinkles and bubbles. You sometimes still get them, but anyway. All right, so then the next one is these two back here. So let's go ahead with this one. And I'm not going to really rush this. I mean, I do try to get as much done in a stream as I can, but, you know. Usually the only time that you kind of have to be extra careful with doing this scraping is fashion magazines. The women's fashion magazines, the paper's so thin and the ink is very movable that you have to be real careful when you scrape a fashion magazine with the card because you'll be tearing it up. Okay, then we're going to have our little astronaut guy. Let me kind of do a little tear around the back of him. He's going to be right in here somewhere. He's going to be in there somewhere. Kind of tilted there. All right, let's see the next big piece here. Make sure I really got the edges down well. Anything hanging over the edge, I'll just cut off here in a little while. And then all the excess, I just scrape off onto the lid over there. Okay. All right, am I seeing anything? Okay, Devin said, let me go scroll back. Devin said something I missed. You don't seal your wood beforehand. No, I don't. This is a sealer. So, yeah. No. I mean, I guess you could. You could put some matte medium down and let it dry and then go back and do this if you want. You can. Extra sealing if you want. Let's see. I don't want to lose all this mountain right in here. Did I miss another question? Tina said, I know one thing. It's much nicer to navigate around the laptop. Aw, Tina. All right. And this is hard to get off your hands, especially by the time I'm done, it's all in my fingernails and everything. I have to take fingernail polish remover to get it off. So just be aware. Okay, I got a little spot right here that needs some more. Be aware that it is hard to get off your hands, which I know that. And so, and I need a fresh card now. That one's getting really goopy. And so I just prepare myself to go take my fingernail polish off and wash my hands and a craft scrubby, which I don't even know if you can buy those anymore. The Ranger craft scrubby works fairly well on your skin, but it really doesn't work that well on your fingernails. I do kind of try to keep it a little bit off while I'm working, just so it's not completely crusted up on my hands, but yeah. All right. And then of course I'll trim this off here in a minute. All right, let's see now. So I wanted a little bit of this over here. And again, I'm going to paint all this in. Then I wanted, let's see, where did I want these? Let's just kind of lay them out here. I wanted some in here. Let's go up here. I think that fish head's going to be right there. It's going to be down in here. Okay, what do I like? this one better. Okay, we're going to go with that. And all this is acrylic paint on my jelly plate. If you've used inks or sprays or watercolor or anything like that, this is going to just smear it. You'd have to spray it or seal it or something if this was anything other than acrylic or something waterproof before you went over it with all this matte medium, because the matte medium is just going to move it all around. Okay. All right. Now my next decision is, do I want to paint some of this in before I lay the fish on? I think I want to do that because I want to put a light coat of blue on the fish. So I think I'm going to go ahead and dry this and then get out some colors. I'm going to take my brush here and I'm going to wrap it in a baby wipe because I'm going to use it again here in a while. But if you don't, this will dry out real fast. I'm going to set that up out of the way. Oh, wait, here. Where did this little piece come from? Let's use that up. I like that little piece. I think I want it up here. Let me get my brush back out. It was just sitting over there. Maybe it flew away at one point, but I'm going to put it on here because that gives it another nice balance. So, okay, now I'm going to wrap up my brush in a wet baby wipe and set it over there. All right, so let me kind of wipe up some of this. I am on a piece of wax paper here. All right. Or two pieces, I should say. There's two pieces here. All right, so now I'm going to dry this, trim it, and then get out my colors. Okay. Golden needs to send more. Yeah, Dar, you were around when that happened. So back in the day, let me go ahead and get this dry, and then I'll tell y'all that story while I'm pulling paint. Hang on, I'll get this out. All right, let me plug in. I keep my heat tool unplugged when I'm not using it. Because, I got cats. So let me dry this and I'll tell you the golden story. And I do try to make sure that I don't have any wrinkles or bubbles, but it does happen sometimes. Sometimes I also varnish everything. So sometimes the varnish helps to deter or, flatten out or level out any bubbles. But you really want to make sure you scrape it all down really, really well if you want to not have wrinkles and bubbles. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, Terry, we're glad to have you for silliness and distractions. I just saw what you and Tori were saying. And the heat tool does also help flatten things out. So now what I'm going to do, just because I don't have to do it, but it's in my way, is I'm going to go ahead and trim. Let me go ahead and pull one of my finished ones out so you can kind of see where we're heading if you haven't been around here for a while or haven't been around when I've done these before. I'll pull my chest one out. It's one of my favorites. Okay. All right. And I do take and wipe off my scissors, Janet, because I don't want them stuck together. All right. So there we go. All right. I'm going to need some fresh baby wipes. I do go through a lot of baby wipes. All right. Let me pull this over here. So here's a completed one, and see it's varnished. And what I do is I paint the backs black and I leave them matte and sign them on the back. And then I varnish them with the high gloss varnish. And then I edge them all with usually gold, sometimes silver, sometimes copper, but usually a gold metal. Let's see, do I have one sitting right here? And I use different brands. I'm not, I don't really care what brand it is, but I do like these. One's a Krylon, one's a Deco color. But anyway, this is a copper one and a gold one. And I edge all the edges, the sides, and the edge around the back. So this is where we're heading. Right here, this is where we're heading with this kind of thing. Okay. All right. So now let me kind of get up some of this matte medium that's all around here. Got the paper smoothed out. And now I'm going to pick out some colors. Let me get another. Here's I'll throw that little piece of sponge away. So I just use these over and over again. I usually keep 3, 4, 5 of them hanging around because you can just, once you use your acrylic paint up, and some people like to play with these acrylic skins. I don't really have time to do that because I have enough other projects, but you can peel them up and then, So I think the first thing I want to do is go ahead and do a little bit of wash on these fish. And I kind of want it a light baby blue, maybe. Let's see. This color, that looks like a good color. All right, so I'm just going to put out a little bit of this, just a dab, because I don't need much because I'm going to water that down to put a wash over the fish. I could probably do alcohol markers too. Let me get a sip of my water. I could probably do alcohol markers because alcohol markers are waterproof. But I'm just going to go ahead and pull this. It's a very, very little paint. Lots of water. Just so I can tint. Well, I guess I don't want to do it on here. I just want to tint the fish with a little bit of blue. They're mostly, you can see there's a little bit of difference here when I tint them. And then I'll dry them. And then I'm going to pick some paint colors. There we go. All right, let's set those over to the side. Let me put this back up here out of my way. Clean my brush. Thanks. We're getting there. If you weren't here for the second, I got a second one, Devin, going on at a bit time here. And so this is the base that I'm going to use on this one. And wait for it. We're going to cut these guys out. We're going to have dancing cats all over that little world. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so let me get some colors here. I'm going to need black and white. Black and white I have big jars. Big jars of those. Let me sop up the water there. I don't need that water there. And some white. And I will probably need a bucket of stars in a little while. So we'll water down some white paint for that after a while. Let me move this tape. I'm going to keep moving things around. And let's see. Move my matte medium out of the way. You like that, Arlene? The cats, yeah. Okay, let's see here. All right, so I'm going to get some a deep midnight blue. I got black and white, and not a little too much, maybe a little sienna. Let's see. Do I want this one? Do I want this one? I think I like that one. That's some sienna and maybe a little yellow ochre. Don't need much. Maybe I won't put yellow ochre. Maybe just the sienna. Maybe that's all the colors I need. With that little bit of light blue left, maybe up in here. All right, so we're going to put out some of the deep midnight blue and some traditional burnt sienna. Okay. Don't need a whole lot. And then my fish are over here drying, and I'll hit them with the heat gun before we glue them down. All right. Let's see where we're going to go with this, shall we? I like to start with finger painting. So let's go ahead and start with that. Let me put my little strings up under I think I'll just take that one off because I don't want these strings dragging through the paint. All right. All righty. Oh, making some space here. Baby wipes. Probably need some more baby wipes. All right. Here we go. And then we're going to use those fish on here too, but I'm going to go ahead and start by getting this painted in. So I'm going to start with black, and I'm just going to go ahead and get the background here. Maybe some more clouds and stuff going in. You could do this all with the brush. I just like the way that I can blend. You'd be surprised how well you can blend with your fingers. But when my fingers get too big for an area, that's when I'll get in there with the brush. The other thing too is because everything's covered, and I know I repeat myself when I do this, I tell you all the steps over and over, and everybody goes, well, they don't, not everybody says it, but people, have said, well, you say that every time. Well, it's because new people come in and they don't know. But anytime you get something like this is covered with matte medium. So if I get something there I don't want, I can take a baby wipe and just wipe it off. You can't do that if it's not coated with matte medium. Okay. But when my fingers get too big for the area, see, like I'm running over the edge there, I just take my baby wipe and I go back in here and kind of wipe it down. And then it's still kind of blendy on the edges. And that's hard to do with just a brush sometimes. Okay. I do too. I love doing the finger paint backgrounds. So, but you gotta also watch. You can't let it dry 100% because then you're not going to be able to remove it. Like if you get somewhere you don't want it, it's best to say, okay, I got somewhere I don't want it. Let's go ahead and take it off right now. Because once it dries, even with the matte medium, you're not going to be able to remove that. So, all right. So there we go with that. And I don't worry about the edges right now because I'm going to do that with gold, right? The edges are going to be gold. So I don't really worry about that. I do want it all the way off the edge though. So I might go like right here. Do you see what I'm saying? All right, so now I'm going to get some black down in here. Can y'all see okay? Do I need to, maybe I should zoom in some more. Let's go ahead. This is how my mouse gets like it is, Janet. This is how my mouse gets like it is. I'm going to click on my camera settings. Let's see here. And turn the brightness down just a little. Zoom in one. Let's see here. Now I just have to remember to keep continuously move my piece around, All right, that looks pretty good. I got some, Janet. I just got to keep remembering to move my disc around because I'm so zoomed in that it's easy for me to come down here and keep working, right? Also, I'm not worried about getting anything on the back because I'm going to paint the backs black, and I do that after I varnish everything. And the reason for that is if I paint the back black and do all the do anything on the back, and then I'm varnishing, and any varnish gets on the back, then you're going to have a shiny spot because I don't varnish the backs. I leave them matte. But you can always varnish the backs too if you want, All right, so there we go. All right. A little bit of that. And I'm going to blend all this in. I'm just going to kind of take a minute and look at it. And, clean my hands here every now and then. Wipe up some excess just to kind of keep it from getting out of control. Janet's so funny. Let's see. Lisa, Cat said hi to Cassie. I said hi to Keeks. Anybody else? I said hi to Brenda. Mama 4. I don't know if I've missed anybody, but thanks everybody for being here. All right, so now I'm going to continue in with some of, let's get a couple of, see what I want to blend out with the blues. Okay, so I want some of this blue to come across here. So you see that blue right here. Maybe a little bit lighter, maybe a little white. I'm just going to kind of blend with my fingers till I kind of get a color I like. And I want kind of a misty kind of thing going on here. That's too much, so I'll just wipe some away. And I'm not over mixing the colors. Like you can still see like 3 colors in there because then that gives it more of a dimensional aspect if it's not just one flat color. So I want that in there. Let's see here. Let's get a little darker blue right in there because it's going into that watch and into the background. Okay, down here, I'm going to want a little bit of the browns coming across in here. Just to give it a little more, color. And I'm going to put mist and waterfalls and just different things. And I just like the abstractness of these few little pieces in here. I want them to be that way. I don't want them completely covered up. But at the same time, I don't want them just look like they're pieces glued on. I want them to look like they're part of the landscape, if you will. Because remember, we still got to put the fish on here. We're going to have the fish come on here in just a minute. Oh, I just touched my nose. I'm going to have a big blob of paint on my nose. All right. All right, so there's that. Now let me go back in here with some of the white and the blue. And I want a little bit more up in here. Like that. Maybe a little coming across there. Just a little. All right, let me see what anybody's saying. Let's see. Cassie, it was funny. Can't chat. Don't chat much because I'm crazy shy. Well, we're glad you're chatting a little bit, Cassie. Good to have you. I'm wiping my face with, I think I got it right up on my cheeks. So you're going to go do housework. Okay, well, come back and don't be afraid to chat. It's good to have you. Tina goes, I'm coloring the Snow White page. If y'all missed Tina's, and Tina, I'm not sure what book was it that you colored that deer. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can bring it up. Hang on, let me get my hands a little bit sort of clean. I don't like to touch. That's one thing I do try to keep clean is my phone. I do try to keep my phone clean, although I do see a little bit of matte medium there. Okay, hang on. And a cat hair. Let me see here. Catacomics. And Cat and Paste is another one. If y'all don't follow Catacomic 64. It's Tina. She just did this, and it was out of okay. It was out of Kirby Roseanne's Mythic World. She said she used ink tints, watercolor pencils, Prismacolor, and gel pens. Look at this, guys. Y'all need to go over there and look at it in person so you can zoom in and look at the details. So Artina just finished this one, I think, yesterday. Look at that. Look at the shadows under the water. So that is awesome. So there's Tina did that one. And she's Catacomic 64. And then Cat and Paste. Let's see what she did. Here she did a Pinocchio puppet. I think it's supposed to be Pinocchio. It's from the Dark Fairies. And so this is Cat and Paste. Look at that. Isn't that awesome, guys? Did she say what she used in this one? She'd use some spellbinding powder, Prismacolor, and Amsterdam acrylic paints is what. Hang on. Come on. So that's Cat and Paste. So y'all follow both of them, Cat and Paste and Catacomics. Excellent. Let's zoom in a little here. And I don't see any bird poop. There's no bird poop on him. Were you here, Cat, when we did that? Or did you go back and watch it? All right, so let's see here. All right, I need a little bit of, let's see, a little black in this blue here. I need a little bit of, I'm going to blend that. And this, see, this is a cut edge right there, and you can hardly get rid of a cut edge. So if you really don't want to see any edges in your collage, you really need to do a tear, not a cut. All right. Let's see. I think I want some white coming across over here. Let's do a little bit of white. Not quite that much. Like that back. And then I think I'm going to do some coming across here. And probably a little bit down here. Maybe let's make this a lighter, mixed up some of that sienna. Okay, wipe some off. Maybe just a touch right here. So really, I'm just painting with my fingers and a baby wipe right now. I'm going to put some more wavy action and stuff in here, but we'll let it dry and we'll go back. And remember, we've got to get those fish in here too. Okay. And our astronaut's peeking over the top. Kind of right there, I think that I want to kind of level it up a little. My horizon line's a little crooked. Maybe I should do a little fixie fix for my horizon line. Let's put a little blue in there. Don't be afraid to cover up anything you've glued down. Cover up things, you know. I think I want to get rid of a little bit more of that edge of that watch right there. So you see that line right there? That's because that's a cut edge. It's a cut edge. It's hard to get rid of a cut edge. But a torn edge you can blend really easy. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to have a waterfall coming in down over here. Let me see. And I'm going to want some stars and stuff and more clouds. All right, let's go back up here with some more black. And a little bit of blend that out. That torn edge is easy. A little bit of light blue right in here. Whoops, too dark. I just want to get rid of that torn edge right there. I just want to kind of blend it in. And you got to keep getting a clean spot on your baby wipe if you want to wipe something away. Okay, I think that's good. Oop, I think that's good. I'm going to put some clouds in there. This needs to be a little something, something right in there. And I do want to take, I do my best to try, and I'm going to have watch hands coming across. I do try to do my best to get rid of, see if I can blend that with my finger, any logos or brands. Okay. A little more light blue. And then I'll have my watch hands coming out here. So I'm probably something right in there. Okay. All right, let me see what anybody's saying, because I do miss things while I'm gluing and painting here. I'm coloring the Snow White page and Funny Tales. The pen, it's copy paper. It is copy paper, Tina. She's talking about the book I colored in the last 2 streams. Make a copy and call and do another change the paper for it, Tina. All right, so let's see. Now I want to do a little bit more. I need a little bit of, let me get a brush here, a smaller brush to do a little color mixing. Let's get a little, here we go. This will work. Now I want to mix up a couple colors here. Get a nice kind of a gray color. Maybe just a little bit of knock it back just a little more. And some more white. I'm trying to match some of those cloud colors. That looks pretty good. All right, let me wipe my brush. Get a fresh baby wipe. Okay. All right, let's see what I can do here. Finger paint in some more clouds. Not too many. I do want a light. I'm going to have a light, like a star shine or a spark right there where the lightning is coming out. Let's make it littler back in here. A lot of littler clouds. Little. There we go. Okay, that's probably good. All right, now I want to, same thing for in here, but I need this little blue, a little bit bluer. Let's do a little bit more cloud stuff going on here. And a little bit of white. And I'll probably have some mist coming through and all that after I get the fish on. All right, so let me see. Do I want to add anything else? I'm going to add some stars. I'm going to get my bucket of stars. I'm going to put a little bit of white paint in here. A little bit of white paint and water that down. Get a floppy brush. I like these cheap calligraphy brushes for floppy brush. And then I'll come over here and just kind of cover my hand over it and tap off the excess. Got to tap a lot off to get small stars. See, that's kind of big still. There we go. In any place, while it's still wet, because it's got all the matte medium on it, I can wipe them away. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit down here. So I'm going to have some wave action, and probably this is going to be a waterfall. So we'll put a little over in here. Okay, now let me rinse out this brush. And let me dry this. It could be a cave too. Might be a good cave. We'll see where the fish land. Let's see where the fish land. Oh, that's nice, Keats. I just saw your collage plans. Hello, Mr. Bear. Let me turn this on. That's unless it's Jan, Lady True North Jan might be on Mr. Bear's account. But if it's Mr. Bear or both of you, good morning. Thanks, Debbie. Got a little something there. Okay. I try to get the stars as dry as I can because since they're a blob, it is easy to smear those. All right, so now I got my little fishies here. I'm going to get my matte medium brush back out again. And let's lay these guys down and see where we want them. I think I do want them. If I put him right there, then it could be that his other fin is back in there somewhere. And then I can always do a cave thing going on there. So let's see. Let's see exactly where I want. Do I want him more up here? Maybe right there. I don't want a tangent with that white line right there. So I'm going to come over here just a little. I think right there. He's kind of really lined up with the astronaut, but I guess I could move him over just a little. I think I'm going to need to paint this little bit out here. Hang on, let me get a little bit of black paint right there. Okay. All right. Yeah. Just don't want that white line there. There we go. That's better. Okay. All right. I'm liking that. So now I do have to dry that in a minute because that's going to smear if I try to put this down while that black is wet. So let's go ahead and I can always add more detail, put some Posca highlights on the fish. Just a little, but I want to keep it kind of subtle. I am going to put glows. I'm going to, these are like lantern fish. Well, partly lantern. That part's the lantern fish. I want to put a glow. Let me put some on the back here. And I don't know that I'm going to be able to complete the other one, but I do want to get those cats cut out and laid down on the other one. All right, I got to dry that black right there. Hang on. Okay. I think I want it about right there. It's not exactly the same spot, but close enough. All right, now let me take my cards. Let's go sideways here. This one. Make sure he's mashed down. Okay, make sure he's mashed down everywhere. All right, I need a fresh card. I got tons of little gift cards and things to use. All right, now let me go ahead and dry it again. All right, now on a little bit of details here. So let me go ahead and wash this off here, excess, and put this in water. If I need to get it back out, then I will. But I want to make sure that my brushes, it'll crust up quickly. All right, I need a smaller brush. Let's see. I'm getting one of these one of these Cheshire cat brushes. Okay, so now I'm gonna move this out of the way. All right, now a few things I want to do here with my paints. I want to get rid of some of this. Oops, touch the black, the white. I want to get that black right there, and then maybe a little bit of the blue. I want to kind of blend the astronaut in a little bit better. And your paint will dry. You might have to. I rarely try to use any water when I'm doing this, but if it starts to dry, then I'll just put just a dab of water, just so I can move the paint, because it'll start drying, 20, 30 minutes in. So I want a little bit more blue here. Just peeking over that little hill. I'm going to paint in some white Posca star shine there. I want to put some mist coming through, and I also want to do my watch hands. So let's see here. I'm not quite sure what else I want to do with the fish other than the Posca. Let me get a Posca here. All right, let's see. I still got a little something here. Just want to make sure that's dry. Okay. Let's see if this Posca is working here. And I'll put, once this is dry, I'll put a color pencil glow. Maybe with some orange sienna type, extra glow in there. But you got to make sure that this Posca is dry too. Of course, I can always go back over the Posca as well. All right, so let's see. I'm going to put a little bit of highlight on some of the fish here, just a little bit. Should probably do that with pencil. I should go ahead and do anything I want to do in the fish. I should do that with pencil. Okay, that little spot right there bothers me, so I'm going to take a little bit of paint here and get rid of that. These are the details that I like doing, is fixing little things and moving things around. I'm going to have some kind of splashy bits maybe here at the fish. I haven't decided if I want this to be a cave or a waterfall. Probably a waterfall, because then I'm going to have some splashy bits down here. And then the fish, I'll come in, because it's got matte medium on it. Hang on. I can go in here, and it's got, what do you call it, flat acrylic paint. Let me get it out. Where's my orange? Gotta move stuff around. And a sienna maybe. Devin. Okay, so what I'll do is I want to do the waterfalls and stuff first, but is get and that's got Posca's got to dry before I can go over that. But anyway, in the fish here, I want to keep them black and white, but I can go in here and do some whiter highlights, and I can also do some black. Make the blacks blacker and the white whiter, just to make it stand out just a little, but not too much. I want to keep them kind of that gray blue look. But you can kind of see how that just that little bit makes a difference. But I should probably do a little bit because I'm going to do the splashy water stuff on them. So let's go ahead and do a little bit. This could kind of be a fin flipped over. All right, that's a little bit of something. Okay. Now I want to do some waterfalls, and I do want to do some orange and sienna in here after the Posca's dry. I'll just kind of put a little hint of it here. It'll also remind me to go back and put it in. And I also have to do my watch hands. I don't want to forget that. I hope y'all are having fun with it. I am. Get y'all some inspiration and ideas using Collage Soup books. I think it needs a little more. Needs a little more color down in here. Because this is matte paint and matte acrylic medium, I can get in here with pencil on top of it. Okay, let's put a little down in here. Now let's go ahead and do some waterfalls. Let's see, what brush do I want for this? I'm going to dry brush. I kind of want a harder, the bristles are like not too like this. This is kind of a stiffer bristles, so that when I do, let's go ahead and get some water here, and I'll just put it on here. I want it to be a dry brush effect. So what we're going to do is, let's see, where do I want the water to start from? Maybe right here. So we'll just start right here. And keep it subtle. You don't have to do a full-on Bob Ross waterfall. Now this is kind of like the background of the waterfall. I'll put a few Posca highlights in there. Okay, a little more. That's what I do when I want my head to be quiet. Just intergalactic fishing expedition. We could, you know what? We could have put a fishing pole in his hand. Would that be horrible? All right, so I am going to put a little. Oh, I'll wait and let that dry 100%. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead back with some Posca because Posca is the brightest white. So, you know, when I put anything really bright, it's going to be Posca. And I am going to put some mist coming through. All right, so now do I want some little splashy bits down in here? Not too much, just a little bit. Okay, I'll get back with the Posca for that. All right, let's just stop for. I got one more little spot up here. Hi, Tracy. Struggle with splashes because I get, yeah, you got to dry. That's why I'm over here like dry, you know, getting most of the paint off, very dry. And then if you think, oh, I need some brighter white areas. Well, that's why I go in with the Posca. Let me dry this. I'll do a couple of those. Hang on. And then I'm going to do some mist. And then we have just enough time probably for me to lay out the other one. We won't have time to do it. I'll do it after stream, but. So I haven't decided on my watch hands. It's going to have to kind of be subtle. I mean, I can't really have it. I mean, I could having it coming across the whole thing, but I think if I just do it off the page, it'd be better. So, but first, let's go ahead and let's get a couple like right in here. I'll show you what I mean is I'll just put a little bit of extra brightness here and there, just a little. Kind of tap it out a little like that. So you'll still get that brightness, but you don't have to worry about trying to get it all in there with the brush and getting it too thick, you know. Just a little bit like this, coming off from somewhere. You don't know where it's coming from exactly. Then you can do a couple little splashes and just kind of the top of the waterfall is going to be like the brightest with just a few little highlights coming down. And like I said, this is the kind of details that I like, but it's usually at the very end after I've done all the gluing and the painting in. And then this is the fun part for me. And it's usually the part we run out of time. You know, because this is the kind of stuff that I like doing, the little details, but in a 3-hour stream, especially when you gab at the beginning, you run out of time pretty quick. But I hope you all get ideas and inspiration from these collages because I love doing them. Oh, and I got to also put in a little mist. I forgot about the mist. We have to put some mist. Usually the mist is the very last thing I put in, but I want to show, I want to put it in so you can see. It's kind of like when you put the little twirly bits of hair down somebody's face, and you've got to make sure the face is done before you do that because you don't want to have to try to paint around little strands of hair. Well, it's kind of like that with this. I think this needs a little more. It's a little more. Right there. I'll go back. I can get some of that later. Not too much because I'm going to be covering it up with some mist and stuff. All right, now my watch hands. I'm guessing that my watch hands are going to come out from behind right in there somewhere. I don't want to dot there because that's not the exact spot. But let me see here. Where do I want them to come out from? See this right here? I don't want it to come out from here either. That's my fish's, the fish globe thing. So let's see, maybe from behind here. Let's see, we'll have it come out from here. We'll have it coming out from here. All right. Let me dry that. If I don't dry it when I go in with color pencil, I'll just scrape off. I'll scrape that off, and I don't want to do that. And I need some dark blue or light black. Just put a little bit of just a bit of a shadow there. All right. Might put some kind of knobby there, but oh wait. All right, so let's see now. All right, let's see where I want the mist to come through. Do I want the mist to come right over the top of that? Come through. I have to kind of picture where I want the mist. I think I want the mist to come down here. Maybe that will come through all the little sparks. And then I'll brighten those sparks up. I think we'll do that. And then probably a little bit up the top. Okay, so I'm going to pick up some white paint. And I'm going to mash it into the baby wipe. This is a damp baby wipe. You have to have it. It's got to be damp. And then I'm mashing the paint into the baby wipe. Okay, let's see if this works. All right. Now, while it's wet, I am able to make a little bit of correction here. So I'm going to go like this. So now I'm going to come to a clean spot on the baby wipe. Let's kind of blend it in. You got to keep moving it around. Like that. And I'll go in and detail up those sparks again. The tops of the fish. I'll go back in and do those up better. Ooh, I need a fresh baby. I need a clean spot on a baby wipe. There we go. Let me get a fresh baby wipe, because once the paint starts going all over the place, you're going to just be smearing it. All right, so let's get a little bit more fresh baby wipe. I'm going to want a little bit coming around there, just a little bit coming around where that lightning is right there. Okay, let's wipe some of it down, not quite so thick. A little bit right in there. Okay. Let's see. I have to come turn this so I can get it on the right angle here. And then make it thinner. I'm going to clean that up. I think I'm going to put a little more. Let's get a little black back in here. There we go. That's better. Okay, now I'll come back in here with a little bit of Posca too, so I can get some real thin lines in there. I'm not looking at chat for just a minute, guys. This I can't stop on this. Okay. Right there, it's too thick. I'm going to have to get in there with a little bit of blue. Thin that out a little. Okay. You can keep moving it around. Hi, Starla. Thank you, Devin. All right, now for the last little bit of misting. Let's see. I want it to come across the fish. Let me just look at it here. And I'm going to want it to come up around this way. Okay, now I can remove and blend out. Okay, let's make that thinner right there. Okay. All right, now I'm going to dry this, and I'm going to hit it a couple of spots with the Posca. You can do it with a thin brush, too. So then I'll take my Posca and get a few little extra bright areas, and then just kind of smooth them out. I want it really thin right in there. Okay. Same thing for up here, where they're going to be connected. Okay. And that needs to be dark right in there. I don't want it to be a circle. There we go. All right. Again, I don't like to twist and turn my piece, but I'm trying to get those straight. Okay, there we go. All right, let me back up one. And I think we got the bulk of it. Again, I'm going to go in there with a little bit more fish detail. And yeah. But I'm liking it. Maybe a little bit more stars. Let me see here. What do with my, here it is. Okay. All righty. I think that's got a few more details to put on it, but I think that's pretty good. All right, now, real quick, I'm not going to have time to do the actual piece, but I want to kind of lay this out before we go. All right, let me go ahead and move the wax paper. I don't need that now because I'm not going to do any more. I'll save it though because it's perfectly fine. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Okay, so let's just kind of get our idea here. Did I move that too much? I did. There we go. So this is all going to be kind of laid out like this. I'll kind of rearrange it because I did have a little movement here. This down in here. No, I wanted that over there. This over here. Something like this. I'll rearrange this, but it's some mountains. I'll probably have a little bit of water down here, and then of course we'll have our stars and our skies and our planets. And there's a watch here. Here it is. There's a watch right there. So I'll have watch hands coming out there. So, and then this was going to go on top. It's going to kind of lay it out a little bit. I'm going to hit this up in here. Okay. All right, so it's going to be something like that, but again, paint it in, And then I'm going to be quick about this. We got 15 minutes. I can have time to. And again, any parts of them that I've had to cut off, if we lose a tail, or if we lose a arm or something, they can all be painted in. All right, these two are kind of holding hands, so we're going to try to keep them together. Let's try to keep them two together. Okay. If you have any questions, while you're working, will you tell a little bit how you got started in collage? Well, other than just art journaling, where you just start gluing start gluing things down, like, you had a pretty day and some flowers and you grew your garden. So you glue down pictures of your garden. And I've always been a scrapbooker with the kids. So I've always done some type of collaging with scrapbooking and stuff. So that there's always been that. But how I really got into wanting to do kind of this kind of collaging is I used to paint acrylic paint more, and the collages like this would be, and I don't have any handy to show you. I have them in the closet. I could drag them out one day. I would do this kind of thing as a sketch for a painting, not necessarily round. I did most of them on, just regular size canvas board, not canvas board. What do you call it? Just flat boards. I don't like canvas. I don't mind canvas on a board, but I don't like canvases, canvases, cloth, that moves. So anytime I would do a painting, it would be on a board. So what this would be is a sketch. I would do a collage like this as the sketch for a painting, and then I would look at this and I would paint it. I'd do a painting of this with just acrylic paint and no collage. It would just be a painting, but this would be the sketch. Does that make sense? But then I started just liking my collages so much without doing the actual painting. I just started just doing the collages and keeping, completing the collages rather than just using them as a sketch for a collage. And again, along with that, and some art journaling and scrapbooking and all that. So that's how I really got started with the collaging as its own thing. And I've done a few things, like you've seen some of my postcards, the Pantone challenges, and a few little things where I just do collage with no paint. It's rare. And I really enjoy the painting. I enjoy it much better when I can paint in mixed media, pencil, Posca, acrylic paints, all the stuff along with collage. So although I have and do the occasional collage where it's just, the elements with and gluing that with no paint, I just enjoy the painting part as well. So, and we're going to cut these cats out here real quick and just kind of lay them out just so we can kind of get an idea of how it's going to because I think it's going to look really fun. All right, so here's these two guys. And see, I don't have anything painted in or anything over on this side yet, so it's going to be a little like his little leg there is going to be, that will be painted in, or something will be in front of it, so it looks like his little leg there is kind of, or it could be as part of a tail. Let's just, you know what? I'm just going to cut that off. So. And we could have some of them going off the edge, although I don't usually like to do that, have things going off the edge, other than maybe a watch hand or something. But he could maybe be behind a cliff. He could be behind some rocks or something. We got a lot of rocks and mountains and stuff going on here. So he can maybe be kind of coming out from behind something, peeking out, So even though I don't have the full cat, he can be behind something. I'll try to finish the other one today. I won't finish this one and that one today, but I'll try to do this over the next couple days. And I always post all my finished stuff on IG when I finish it. Some things I don't finish and I don't post it. Rarely do I do a whip, a work in progress. Once in a while I'll post a work in progress, but for the most part I wait till I'm done before I post them. But it does happen occasionally. But let's see where this little guy is going to go. I don't know if they're girls or guys. Everybody's a guy. All you all here, you're all guys. So just FYI, everybody's a guy to me. I call it just guys, like you guys, All right, so I'm going to want maybe him up in here like this, maybe. So, isn't that cute? He's a little lost back there, but you see him a little bit, but he's only half a cat. So, yeah, let's see. This one's got a tail right here. He may or may not. No, I think I'm going to get rid of the tail. I don't have to worry about making that fit in somewhere. And, these are AI, so they're going to be a little wonky anyway, which I like. I like the little wonkiness of them. And they may not stay in this exact same spot. I'm just kind of laying them out for you guys while we're standing here, Maybe that one might be better for that one to be up in the sky, like a jumping from meteor to meteor. And then this guy can be kind of down here with his feet on the ground. Okay. Let's get him down here. And again, see, he only has one little paw here. No, doesn't have a paw right there. So that can be behind a rock or something. It can be behind something there. I think I've got one more. So one more. Yeah, I just got one more. So these collage soup and themed. This was the one that was things that go in this book from this one. I think the other one might or might not have been the fish one. Let me get a sip of my water here. Yeah, jumping from asteroid to asteroid. And this one might just kind of be in here somewhere. Maybe I'll move him out of the way because I think I want this one there. He might come in somewhere, but I don't know. We'll hold on to him just in case. And I'll hold this up for y'all. Hang on. So I think this will be fun when it's done. And again, we'll have mist and maybe some more boulders or meteors or, but I love these. And he's a little hidden, but you can kind of see him there. So anyway, yeah, so I like that. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. And let me pull the other one back over here again. This one. We got the fish. And I think I'm going to put some, more details, some more white, make them a little brighter. And I could either make the lightning bolt come through his hand there and a fishing line. I don't want to put a worm on there, but something maybe. We'll see, maybe. But I hope y'all enjoyed seeing me do these today. And don't forget, look under the post tab for the details of the artist trading card swap. You have till the end of May 30th, and you mail everything to Janet. And thanks, Kat. I appreciate that. And thank you all for the super chats all day. Devin comes on at 3. I don't know if Ann Laura's here. I think Ann might come on in between me and Devin. She might. Go check, follow Ann Laura too, so you can get her updates. She comes on a couple times in between me and Janet, me and Devin. So, but and then she comes on Sunday. Sunday's usually when I try to catch some of her stream if I don't have the kids here. There's Janet right there, which posting Devin's channel, but go follow Janet's channel, and that's who you're going to send the artist trading cards to, and all the details are in both of our post tab. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this, and let me back out one more so you can see both of them together. There we go. So any questions or anything? Are we good? Everything going on? Thanks, Debbie. And Debbie, I know you're going to, it's hard not to read that book, isn't it? And I mean, I think I'm going to go kind of scrub through it again, just pick out some things I might have missed because it was so good. I don't want it to be over either. Hi, Jolu. Thank you. Let's see. Thanks, Terry Brett. We love you, Terry. I don't care how much it costs to send you stuff. If you weren't here earlier, maybe you discussed it in the chat, Terry. I missed it. But if you go back to the beginning of my stream, guys, if you want to hear a little, I'm not going to call it a rant. I'm going to call it just some words. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a blessed rest of your week. We'll see you over at Devin's. And, the other streamers come on during the week and the weekend. And I stream every Monday and Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Okay, guys. Bye.